Why are you doing this, darling? Do you really have to moan that loud? Joseph whispered to his wife as they were in the middle of an intimate moment. His voice was low, almost nervous. You know we're not alone in this house. Mom is right in the next room. She can hear us. Naomi slowly sat up. She adjusted herself on the bed, locked her eyes on his, as if she'd been waiting for this moment. And without flinching, she replied, "Exactly." Let her hear. Maybe that's what she needs to finally understand that she's in the way. I need to breathe, Joseph. I need to feel at home and not suffocated in what's supposed to be my own house. That was it. The drop that made the cup overflow. The sentence too far. Words. Joseph took them like a punch to the gut. He didn't respond that night, but something inside him cracked. There are stories that seem ordinary, stories you hear every day, but sometimes, behind the quiet walls of a home, lie truths too deep for words. Naomi was beautiful, proud, confident. She knew how to command respect. She spoke with authority, walked like a queen. And Joseph Kabondo, her husband, quiet, discreet, hardworking. The kind of man who didn't speak loudly, who rarely got angry. But he had depth, and a heart that carried more than he showed. They lived together in a lovely house in Kinshasa. 3 bedrooms, a clean garden, a spacious terrace. A warm home, the very house where Joseph had grown up. But there was someone else living there too. Mama Asha, Joseph's mother. An elderly, soft-spoken woman, always neat, always polite. She wore well-ironed fabrics, read her Bible daily, and spent hours knitting in silence. She never complained, even when ignored. She never imposed. She helped when allowed. She withdrew when she felt unwanted. And Naomi, she didn't like her. At first she pretended, called her mom, brought her a plate here and there, acted respectful. But it was all just an act, just long enough to get the ring on her finger. With time, the smiles faded. Caring gestures turned into annoyed sighs, and her gaze turned cold as stone. Naomi had made up her mind. There was only room for one woman in that house, and it wasn't going to be the old lady. Can't your mother go live somewhere else? She just sits around all day. Why is she still here? Joseph tried to calm the storm. She's my mother, Naomi. She's old. She's not asking for anything. Just leave her be. But Naomi didn't want peace. She wanted power. In her mind, the house was hers. She was the wife, and that meant she had every right. And Mama Asha, just a burden, a leftover, an irrelevant old woman. Naomi excluded her from meals, banned her from the living room whenever friends came over. She even washed Mama Asha's bed sheets separately, with visible disgust. And yet, Mama Asha said nothing, not a single complaint, not one word against her. She prayed, silently, every night, for her son, for her daughter-in-law, and for herself, so she could survive the humiliation. One day, Naomi hosted her friends at home. She proudly showed them the living room, the curtains, the fine dishes. Then, with a smug smile, she declared, "This house? My husband made it all happen. He worked hard to give us this life. Me? I just turned it into a palace. That's what a real wife does." Mama Asha was there, quiet, seated in the corner. She heard every word and said nothing. But Naomi wasn't done. "Can't you see we have guests? Can't you go back to your room? Give us some space." Mama Asha stood up without a word, returned to her room, and closed the door. Again. Soon Naomi became even more cruel. She left Mama Asha sick and unattended. She said she was faking, exaggerating, seeking attention. One day, Mama Asha collapsed. She lay in bed for hours. Naomi saw her and refused to call for help. She just wants sympathy. Let her rest. When Joseph returned from work, he found his mother weak, dehydrated. He cried, held her, apologized, and she, in her usual softness, said, "I'm okay, my son. Don't worry about me." But Naomi had a plan. She wanted Mama Asha gone, and she chose the most shameful method, intimate humiliation. She knew that for a proper African mother, hearing her son in bed with his wife was disgraceful, a taboo. So Naomi started moaning louder, on purpose, night after night. She wanted Asha to feel shame, to feel like a stranger, to leave. And Mama Asha understood. One morning she told Joseph, "I'm going to visit my sister. I'll be gone for a few days." Naomi heard the news and nearly jumped with joy. Finally! Good riddance. If only she'd never come back. But what she didn't know was that Mama Asha had one more move left to play. A few days later, while Joseph was at work, someone knocked at the door. A man in a dark suit, a notary. He handed Naomi an envelope. "For Mr. and Mrs. Kabando." Legal documents. Naomi opened it. Her heart sank. The house was no longer under Joseph's name. It now legally belonged to Madame Asha Mwamba. Naomi screamed. Who does she think she is? That witch! She forged the documents. When Joseph came home, Naomi threw the letter at him. "Look what your wicked mother did." But this time, Joseph broke. "Enough, Naomi. Stop talking. You ruined everything. Now we'll be out on the street." "What do you mean? You're going to let your mother steal our house?" "Her house, Naomi. It's her house. She bought it, with her own money. She gave it to me as a gift. But now she took it back, because she couldn't bear your cruelty any longer." Naomi collapsed, tears rolling down her face. She picked up the phone, hands trembling. "Hello. Mama? It's Naomi. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry for everything." From the other side of the line came a calm, steady voice. "You're calling me Mama now? Since when does a useless, wicked old woman deserve that title?" "I didn't know it was your house." "Exactly. You respected what I owned, but never who I was. I forgive you, but don't expect compassion from me." Soon the whole family learned the truth. Naomi lost everything: her husband, her home, her dignity. Joseph, heartbroken but finally free, moved on. He later married Linda, a kind, respectful woman, well-raised, humble. Linda called Mama Asha Mom from day one, not because of inheritance, but because she genuinely honored the woman who gave her husband life. And for the first time in years, there was peace in Mama Asha's eyes. Advice: don't respect people for what they own. Respect them for who they are, because one day their silence may cost you more than their voice ever would. African proverb: the old man you despise today may be the tree that shelters you from tomorrow's storm. If this story touched you, share it with someone. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to help us grow.